So is he? Is like I don't. I just met you.
Yeah.
So
No, we met before.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I gave you a shirt. I gave you a shirt, bro.
Sebastian, that's the kind of talent that California minimum wage attracts, man. 15 bucks an hour right there, bro. He's crushing. He does 6 jobs all for 15 bucks an hour.
Caleb, the guy who's swiveling the camera you're looking at now, pretty much runs Impulsive, and we're going to give him a bonus because he's been working so hard. This is our 4th podcast we've shot in 2
Let's
days.
go, boys. Let's go, boys.
Would
In
not
2
have
days,
been able
48
to do
hours.
it without such an amazing team.
Great shows.
And the best series of shows that we've done ever. I'm so full with the conversations we've been having. As a human, like I feel energetically full. And I know that sounds weird to people from flyover states, but I am energetically full.
Shout out Caleb. Shout out
Caleb.
Kevin, Dylan, Jeff, Caitlin,
Brand new Nico.
Christina, Nico on sound on this episode. We don't do this enough. Jessica for helping out over the past couple days. All the guys behind the scenes that work on this episode, Division on the ads, everybody, for making this show the best thing on the planet.
God dang right. And if you're not a part of this journey, it's been fruitful and it will continue and it will be a long one. So if you are not subscribed to the Impulsive channel that you're on right now, please stop what you're doing and hit that button. I'm not just saying these words to say words. I mean it. Stop and hit the button, because when we look at the analytics that Caleb looks at, we see that
when you guys subscribe, the subscriber rate goes up.
Yeah, I was going to say half the people that watch don't hear they're not subscribers. So what the fuck are you doing?
George.
I know. George is so fucking nervous with this guy. And I'm going to call you out for it so hard as soon as I introduce him, which I'm doing now. Our guest today is arguably the #1 comedian on the planet. Breaking box office records everywhere he goes. You've seen him in comedy specials and his clips online in movies like The Irishman. He'll have a new Netflix special out soon and can currently be seen hosting his travel food show, Well Done, on Discovery Plus. It's Sebastian Maniscalco.
So, brother. Can we do that handshake one more time?
Was it one of those?
You came in hard.
You got it. You one of the fish.
It was my fault, probably.
You grip too soon. You're one of those. You grip too soon.
Like soon gripper.
You want to go for it, Sebastian.
I'm debating on whether or not to use the headphones or not. All right. You don't have them on.
No, I don't.
You guys have them on.
Judging by us as people, who would you choose to follow?
I gotta go with you guys. Listen. I feel like you didn't give him headphones for a reason.
It's his hair.
It started so badly for George.
Look at his hair.
He needed it to go the other way.
By the way, beautiful beard.
No, thank you so much.
You don't have to wear them if you don't want.
No. Now I feel connected and piped in.
That's why we do it, and that's why George is always offline.
Piped out.
George, what are you worried about your hair?
Okay, so Sebastian, something's going on. There's a reason he's being like the way he is.
Dude, first of all,
he's bad nervous.
Did you just see that? He's smitten. He's smitten.
Hey.
He said, first of all,
Sebastian, you're his guy. You understand that? You are his guy.
It's nice to have a guy.
I got you a gift.
What? How are you gonna start with that?
I'm sorry.
Getting weird.
Getting
weird.
Let's just put the awkwardness in, and like, I want to do stand-up because of you. Like, you are the reason why I want to do stand-up.
Oh, thanks.
If you play any of your specials, I could recite it. You're gonna be the reason why I'm rich. I'm gonna steal all your jokes, your deliverers, like everything. I'm gonna slur. I'm gonna fuck up on this podcast. I've never fanned over anybody, so I thought it would only be right if I got you something, because you've always done that thing for me. So
Oh, thanks. Well, getting it now.
Oh, yeah, I guess I've never seen anything like this on this
a
show.
gift, because
Okay, I like you already. Number one, I'll tell you why. Most people, especially men, don't give gifts in a proper manner. You got the bag, but you know what you did? You went the extra mile.
The paper. You got the paper in the bag.
Can I open it now? Or?
please, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a shirt.
It was just such a memorable moment when we met for the first time
oh, George.
that I thought.
Oh, George.
Oh,
Just,
wow.
and I would not be mad if you didn't wear it. Just destroyed.
Where was it? Wait, where was this?
This was at your show. I went to go meet you. You walked up to me.
Oh,
you
yes,
said,
I remember. This is in LA at
the internet stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I'm perspiring in here. Just so you
It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
Just so people at home, you might see some beading here, and it's just hot.
It is hot.
You know why it's hot? Because there's 39 people in the room. When I do podcasts, generally speaking, there's the people and a guy.
Yeah.
I don't generally. This guy's eating his dinner.
Kevin, what the fuck are you doing?
There's just for the people at home. There's not only a gentleman having food. There's boxing people here, trainers.
Dude, that's my stylist.
I got to be the oldest guy here by at least 15 years. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Appreciate
George, when you gave him that gift, I had 3 questions. 1, why would you do that? 2, aren't you embarrassed? And 3, what's wrong with people? Dude, seriously.
That's very nice. It's very sweet that you had this made.
That is so funny, George. You've
Thank
been,
you.
I'll hold
Thank
it for
you.
you.
No,
I'll
we
put it
don't
over
have to-
here.
no.
We'll fold
I don't want to put it next to Logan's teeth.
He fucking saw them. Oh my God.
Yo, he turns to me. He goes, hey, man, are those your teeth? I go, no, bro. What the fuck? Why would you put your teeth there?
I set my Invisalign wherever the fuck I can.
They give you
I know.
a nice little package that you could keep the teeth in.
I know.
And the exposed teeth.
They're sitting on a random table in a random house. I can't believe you fucking saw them. And anyone who wears Invisalign knows that at the end of your tray, they start to get disgusting. And that's the state they're in. So I'm embarrassed now too, George, as we both should be for doing such stupid things in front of the presence of greatness. Sebastian, it's an honor.
Oh, thanks.
It's a goddamn honor. George was the one who turned me on to your special on Netflix, and we've been glued. We've been hooked since, man.
Well, I've known you for a little bit. We've Can I have one of these?
You can have some prime, yeah.
I've known you for a little bit.
Yep.
You've actually done me a really solid favor, and a friend of mine's daughter really enjoyed what you did, and you sent a video about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago
Yeah.
to me.
But you returned the favor because then you gave me front row tickets to a show of yours.
Outside?
Yep.
Outside somewhere?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw you in the front.
Yep.
Yeah. So, thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show. And where do we go from here?
Yeah. That's
you
the
said
question.
to George,
That's the question, huh?
you do the internet stuff, right? That's what he said.
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Internet stuff has kind of helped you reach a lot of new people. Is that actually factual?
I was saying, it's nice to be around this energy you have. I'm 49 years old. I'm not so savvy with computer and internet. I mean, I know how to do certain things, but I don't have a lot of people working for me on that side of the thing. I notice everybody's got like a video guy now that they walk around with. I got a family. And that's where most of my time is, like, when I'm not working, I'm spending time with my kids. And I'm kind of a private guy. I don't like to do a lot on the internet just because I grew up kind of not exposing a lot of personal information about me.
So then why the fuck are you here, man?
No, that's the interview is going to be done in 7 minutes. So I don't know what you want to ask me, but I ain't going to tell you much.
No problem. To be honest with you, I just don't want to piss you off, man. Because a lot bothers you.
No, I have a lot that bothers me. And for example, I watched a couple clips, and I'll give you an example about privacy. Someone on a podcast asked you, I don't know if it was this podcast, or like how much money you got in the bank, right? And you said you didn't want to answer it, and then you whispered it to the
It was
guy.
Grant Cardone, yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at that. I go, that's something I would never say to anybody.
How much money?
Right? That's how I grew up. It was very like, shut your mouth. I wasn't even allowed to tell people we were going on vacation. You still here? I wasn't even allowed to tell people I was going on vacation.
Why?
Growing up. Because my father feared they were going to rob the house.
They probably will too.
Yeah, so like...
Did you grow up super paranoid? Because that's how I was. Every bad situation could have happened to me.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Growing up in the family I did, it was a lot of negativity and a lot of
I got to defend him. It's his notes. It's his notes.
Oh, okay.
And you need a better system because Rob kept getting thrown out too.
I thought it was so sleep.
Find a spot, make it big, and leave it. You can't be doing that.
No, you know what? It's fine that you're doing that. It's fine. But when I was talking to him at a corner of my eye, I was going, is this motherfucker looking at his Instagram? Fuck!
He's on Tinder.
It's okay. Look at the notes. Now that I know the notes are there.
Yeah,
what it is.
You should just tell him.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying nothing.
As it
But
should
you
be.
were saying that you grew up in a negative atmosphere.
Yeah, negative atmosphere. Still, I was just hanging out with my father for 9 days, and it's not like it's negative. It's just not positive. You know, the world's always ending in my family.
And is it still, even though you've done a I'll use the word brilliant job of exploiting that in your bits. They don't change how they act at all because of what you say. They're not.
No one's really adjusting their behavior. My mom's upset that she's not in the act more.
Oh man.
My dad seems to be the focal point of my humor. My mom's like, how come you don't talk about me? I said, well, there's a lot. Dad's got a lot of material around him. So my mom's a little bit more passive, sweet, nice. My dad's the personality.
That's like Georgie too. It's the same way. Are you closer with your mom or your dad?
I would say equally the same in different ways. By the way, you come from like an immigrant family?
Yeah. First generation.
What?
Here on this ground.
Yeah, but what? From where?
Oh, from Iraq.
Oh, Iraq. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Or Iran. I'm not sure. Wait, was it Iraq or Iran? Well, I don't know. They ran, so I don't know. Like
How do you not know this, dude?
I am not okay right now. I'm so sorry.
We all need to take a reset.
I'm the one sweating, bro.
No, listen,
I know
Sebastian, that happens all the time on this show. Trust me, okay? Let me ask you a question that will kind of get you back into things. Does your dad know where Jimmy Hoffa's buried?
No.
You're positive?
My father is a hairstylist. Okay,
Yeah,
so he's
My
not.
mother's a
No, but-
hairstylist.
What's that?
My mother's a hairstylist.
Well, isn't that nice? Yeah,
That's so good.
I'm teasing you, bro. I'm teasing you.
no, I feel the teasing. I'm good.
So good. So good.
Good. I love the shirt. So yeah, my dad owns hair salons growing up. So we're not connected in any way, shape, or form. If I was connected to the mob, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So
Well, I just figured you'd come and just make believe like, I don't know, your dad was like a hairstylist, for example.
no, he does hair. I grew up with a father, bald with a ponytail, and
Oh, what?
How does that work?
he was bald. He looked like Seagal.
Does he have a dojo?
Oh, yeah.
He got a dojo.
Yeah.
I guarantee he has a katana.
What's that?
No, come on.
What's a katana?
Japanese sword.
He's Italian, bro.
Why? You act like I was supposed to know that?
Well, if your dad is bald with the ponytail and looks like Seagal, he got a katana.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. We don't have anything.
Ask him if he knows what gabagool is. Like, you guys are going to have this back and forth.
No blades.
No blades.
No weapons.
No weapons in the house. No guns. No nothing like that. I feel like there might be a gun in the room here. No?
Well, in L.A., there kind of has to be.
You got enough people.
You know,
Jeez.
yeah.
Not in this room.
Why did it get quiet all of a sudden?
Yo, everybody.
Everybody's like, does he know?
Well, sometimes I was scanning the team, and these are the unarmed members of the team.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
This dude, Sebastian Maniscalco, I've been trying to see one of his shows, but it's hard to find tickets.
Well, today's episode is sponsored by, you guessed it, SeatGeek. You might want to text to Sebastian.
Just keep going. I like that.
Sebastian's next show, or you're trying to go to a concert or major game. SeatGeek puts tickets from all over the web in one place to make buying simple. SeatGeek is the absolute best place to buy tickets. I got the app on our phone right here. Check it out. And if we needed to buy a ticket to the next Sebastian show, SeatGeek would be the perfect place to do just that. So might be a good idea to start searching now. They rate every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good and red means bad. We got the hookup for y'all right here. Use the promo code Logan for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That is $20 off your first purchase with the promo code Logan. Make sure to click the link in the description to download the app. Now back to the show. Sebastian, I'm curious because I don't know if anyone's ever told you this. You're hilarious.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I feel ashamed that I was put onto you so late. And I find it interesting that a lot of not just comedians, but people in specific industries will find their fit later in their life. Why did I not know about you sooner? Like, you seem to pop up out of nowhere, no?
No. I had a fan base, and I just don't feel like I've kind of kicked into the mainstream as much as other comedians might have.
You talking about yet?
Yeah, I just feel like I've been flying kind of under the radar for quite some time. I mean, you talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people outside kind of my fan base are just now kind of getting to know who I am.
That's fascinating, man, because you sold out. You're the first comedian to sell out MSG twice.
Oh, I did it 4 times on a weekend.
Yeah, don't ever get that wrong, man. I'm so sorry.
But that was, I just have a very loyal fan base, and people like yourself, maybe the younger people in the room, might not be privy to kind of what I'm doing and up until now. I think over COVID, a lot of people got introduced to my humor because a lot of people were just sitting at home doing nothing, and people were sharing videos. But yeah, it's been a slow burn for me. I've been out here since 1998.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm happy that you found success, right? Because some people will go their whole lives on that burn and never have their fire ignite. But you got it, and it's really cool to see. I actually disagree. I think you're more mainstream than you think. Do you think you did something in your act, in your comedy, that made your fan base so rabid?
So this was, I think, either my first or second special. You might know that I talked about being Italian, and I did an Italian wedding bit, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is too specific to my culture. I don't know if everybody's going to get it, but that bit kind of introduced me to the Italian community, and I feel like as soon as I got the Italians on board, they talked to everybody who was Italian, and a lot of people started coming out from that specific community. But you know, a lot of my bits are observational, and they hit a wide swath of people. So yeah, there's nothing I could tell you. Oh, I did this, and man, I got this. There's this doorbell bit that I did that seemed to gain some popularity online, but I didn't even know I was popular from it just because I never posted it. It was from somebody else posted it.
Yeah, you're one of the comedians that are super clippable. Your clips appear everywhere. You might not be the one doing it, but like you're syndicated by people who just love your stuff.
Yeah, and I'm really appreciative that people, you know, other than, because again, I know social media, but I don't know it as intimately as, you know, you guys might be on. I mean, like before this, you were like posting your stuff.
I'm a social media kid.
Yeah, you're constantly on it. So for me, I'm learning as I go. Because
do you feel like you have to integrate it now into your touring? Like surely you're posting about what you're doing, right?
See, this is what I want everything I do to be funny online, and not just posting just to post. And I guess maybe that's not the right way to think about it, but I try to do things that are entertaining and funny rather than just, hey guys, and there's not really any funny or humor behind it. Yeah.
I've seen some of your selfie videos go viral on TikTok. Like I've seen you make a TikTok or two. No?
I don't know. I have TikTok, but I don't look at TikTok.
Interesting.
See, I look at the videos to see, oh, okay, this is doing well. They like this, they like that. But again, I'm not like churning on this shit right when I wake up. I'm in a different chapter in my life. I've been touring for so long and doing comedy for so long, and now I have 2 small kids, 5 and 3, and I want to spend a lot of time with them. And so not that I'm like veering away from working, but I'm hitting another stride.
Do they like immediately when they come out or start talking, do they talk like this, like immediately, or
right out of the womb?
Immediately.
Right out of the womb.
So like they come, mama.
Yeah, it was more
Usually I do the shit jokes. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I'm just honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to activate him a little bit. We're asking him about TikTok. He doesn't give a fuck about this shit. Okay, I'm trying to give him something to work with. Talk to me about working at the Four Seasons in Beverly fucking Hills. How about that?
So I had a job working as a waiter at the Four Seasons Hotel when I came out here in 1998, and I was working at the Windows Lounge, and I worked there until 2005. So I had 7 years of working as a waiter while I was kind of getting my footing with stand-up and serving all the celebrities. You know, Nicole Kidman, Sean Penn used to come in, Pacino, De Niro, and whatnot, and then subsequently started working with these people in movies. So it's weird to be like serving De Niro peanuts in 2004, and then I'm starring in a movie with him in 2019.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I said I waited on you at the Four Seasons Hotel, and
by the way, you're a shit tipper.
It probably was like the moment when he said that his
Yeah.
Your family owns it. And he was like, that's nuts.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
like same exact kind of
Cool,
thing.
man.
It's exactly the same reaction. Yeah, so I needed money. I needed to supplement my income while I was doing stand-up comedy in bowling alleys and dry cleaners or wherever the hell they were having comedy. It didn't pay anything, so I had to put food on the table. So, and I'm not ashamed of working there. It was great for me. I made a nice living and met some great people.
Probably a lot of good-looking girls there too.
A lot of good-looking girls came in there, but again, this is Los Angeles. Not everybody's looking at the waiter. So,
Especially at Four Seasons. They're like, not at all.
we're good. We're good. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great place to work. There's a lot of stuff that went on at the Four Seasons Hotel while I was there. There was a guy who used to come in and tip a lot of, like, I used to bring him a Coke. He used to give me $100, and this went on.
Cocaine? What the fuck are you giving him?
Well, it's like no one knew what he was doing, but turned out that these guys were like, there's just a lot of activity that went on there during that time that was a little shady. To
Talk about prostitution.
There was some prostitution there, yeah. I
I
mean,
feel like that's
talking
any
about
higher.
drugs.
drugs? No, not so much drugs. I didn't see a lot of drugs.
What are you talking
there.
about?
More like this was like a Ponzi scheme. I think these guys were running.
Got it.
And they were passing around a lot of cash.
Like Madoff was hanging out there.
I never saw Madoff, but maybe Madoff types used to come in there.
How I'm so curious. How were you as a waiter? I can't see you serving.
I was angry, and I was. I looking back on it, I wish I was a better waiter, because when I was there, I would bitch about what the people wanted, because the requests were so kind of out of bounds for me. Like one woman was like, "Do you have another wine glass? The way this rests on my lips is not really allowing me to drink the wine like hey, that's right." I had to bite my tongue a lot there because my personality and how I behave didn't really match with like the accommodating people's requests, especially if they were so out of bounds like that.
Well, especially here in LA, like people are not real here. Like I don't mean like real, like, no, that person's fake. Like these are cyborgs. They're NPCs. Like they're not actual human. Where are you from?
Chicago.
So you
Same
get it. Yeah.
here.
What?
I was born in Chicago.
By the way, do you bleach your teeth?
No, I don't.
No, they look beautiful.
They are
you.
really
Yeah,
white.
they're really white.
It might be the offsetting from that massive beard that's so black.
Oh, the contrast.
Yeah, the contrast. So from Chicago,
Yeah.
What
part
part
of
of
lot of
what part of
underworld.
Chicago? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you
Skokie or
Arlington Heights?
neighbors?
Lot of
You're from Chicago?
Yeah,
Where?
Skokie.
Oh, you're from Skokie?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jews over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my hero's a Jew.
Who?
Jesus.
He's one of those. Yeah.
Okay.
I dare you to go one podcast without bringing up Yeshua.
It's Yeshua, first of all.
well, it's supposed to be
Alright.
his
Tomato,
core job
tomato,
as a Christian
potato,
to spread the word.
Well, I did just spread the word.
Yeah,
I
that's
spread
what
it to
I'm
my
saying.
other hero, Sebastian.
Oh, thanks.
Sebastian or Jesus, choose one.
Well, is it? Do you shave your arms, by the way?
I do.
He does.
I do. Did I just prick
Do you think that you guys can just go back and forth for a while? I am enjoying
so
this
sorry.
thoroughly.
I promise you, I'm a
No,
normal
hold on,
guy.
I'm not
I
saying
actually am loved on the show. I swear. I don't know, man. When you look at me, all I see is get out of here, and then I just
This is what I'm trying to do right now during this interview. We're talking here, but then every once in a while, I feel the need that I need to include you into the conversation,
welcome to my fucking world.
right?
Just imagine if I wasn't. I had to it's like double dutch. I have to fucking jump in whenever it's right. But I appreciate you looking over.
No,
me.
I just need to.
The comments will too. The comments will too. They
100%.
do not like when George gets ignored. You're the third seat, and unfortunately, you're the farthest neck. Like that's that's a 180-degree turn.
And just four people in general on the show is it's not always an easy volley back and forth, but we've got it down to a science now. Chicago, any reason your family picked Chicago to be as a city? Because there's a lot of underworld activity, a lot of mob.
You got with the underworld.
No, listen, bro.
The second time this has come up.
I mean,
he's
dude,
a hairstylist.
okay,
My mother was a
no.
secretary.
Sure.
We're not in there.
Where is Hoffa? I will find out by the end of this show where the fuck Hoffa is buried. Bro, I'm telling you right now.
I don't know. My family immigrated from Mississippi and then ended up in Chicago.
Okay.
And then my dad opened up his first hair salon there in I think 1978. So we stayed there. It was awful as far as the weather, but the people of Chicago, it's just a great city.
Great food scene, and food something that you're super passionate about, obviously. I don't know if we're going into this yet, but deep dish pizza versus regular thin pizza. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, the pizza capital of the world, as most people know. Very thin crust pizza versus your, I don't even know if you like deep dish, but what's your preference?
I like deep dish, but I prefer just a simple margarita pizza.
Beautiful.
I like the deep dish when I'm there, but if I'm gonna choose, I'm going thin.
Have Americans ruined pizza?
I don't think so. I mean, like,
perfected.
I think they got a little out of hand with the toppings.
Pineapple?
Yeah. No, I'm not a big pineapple guy.
Of course you aren't.
Simple pizza. I'm not looking for a lot of toppings.
No.
What about Portillo's?
Portillo's, love Portillo's. Their beefs are great. Their burgers are really fantastic.
Cake shake? You ever had a cake shake at Portillo's? They put a whole piece of cake into a cup and then make a milkshake.
It's so Chicago, so Midwest.
Yeah.
I'm curious, just I hope this comes off right, but
here we go.
Oh shit.
No, just I listen to your stand-ups, even just talking to you now, and like I'm really curious about what makes you tick. Like you were a waiter for 7 years pursuing a thing that might not have ever happened, and you're so laid back. You know, I don't really see you getting like excited when you're talking. I'm not like hearing like an artistic integrity that you need to release through comedy or whatever it is. Like, but what is it that you were chasing besides just like paying the bills and money back then? Did you crave the success that you have now?
I never got into this business for anything but making people laugh. I went to college. I went to Northern Illinois, graduated with corporate organizational communications. I don't even know what the hell it was. But I knew I was going to come out to LA and try to be a stand-up. I just wanted to make a living doing stand-up. And if that was it, that was it. This is the only thing I really know how to do. I don't have multiple skill sets. I just know how to make people laugh, and that's about it. I don't know other languages. I don't know how to strum a guitar. I was just at a party. It's a doctor friend of mine. He's turned 50. He's a doctor, but then he also sang to his wife and played a song. And I've always gone, man, I wish I had other talents like that. You know, people that fly airplanes this is all I need. This is all I need, and this is all I really do. There's nothing else.
So that was it, right?
Stand up. Yeah.
Well, you're a dad too.
What's that?
You're a dad.
My dad?
No, you're a dad.
I'm a dad. Yeah. So I'm a father, and I never even really was thinking about kids when I got out here. My sole objective was to make it in stand up or make a living. And then after that, I met my wife, my beautiful wife, and we ended up having a family. And now I can't even fathom a life without children.
Do you ever have trouble separating the two? Like if you and your wife are in like a huge argument because you didn't bring the trash out. Like, is that still like a thing? I haven't had a girlfriend in like a couple of years. Do you still have to bring the trash out? Or you probably have somebody that does that, right?
No, I mean, we don't have arguments. When you got kids, the trash is the least of your concerns.
Got it.
You know, so it's more of like my wife grew up with me, and she had money, and I grew up with working middle class. Now those two cultures coming together, there's a lot of different mindsets on how to raise kids and whatnot. So that's where a lot of the kind of the speed bumps are with the kids.
But do you ever have like a moment where you're in any kind of disagreement whatsoever, and you as like this natural comedian kind of break into like a listen, like
I try to make things funny sometimes, and sometimes it's not the right time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make it.
I know exactly what you mean by that. I'm always great joke, wrong time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, at least it was good. It was a funny joke.
I would say always. I'd say more like shit joke, always wrong time.
Acting tough in front of Sebastian. Huh? We'll talk about this later.
That's the sound we hear every Sunday because we've been watching NASCAR playoffs. Fast cars, wrecks, fights, all of the action anyone could ask for. It might be the end of the season, but the intensity just started. This weekend, NASCAR is back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So strap in for a wild ride as the stars of the NASCAR Cup Series take on Las Vegas. The 8 drivers left are vying for their spot to become a champion. NASCAR always delivers an action-packed pace full of lead changes, wild wrecks, and close finishes that will keep you on the edge of your seat the entire race. You have to experience NASCAR in person. So be sure not to miss the action. Go to NASCAR.com/tickets to get your tickets today. And if you cannot make the race, tune in and get ready to take a beer shower at the finish line with NASCAR at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Vegas this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. We love you, NASCAR. Back to the show. You are so good at that noise.
So I don't even know how to fucking talk right now. So I'm just gonna.
Dog, okay, I gotta be honest with you. It's been 20 minutes, bro. Get the fuck over.
Oh, he's
Okay,
good.
okay, I'll ask the
He's
questions.
getting into the
I'll ask the
flow.
questions.
It takes a little while to get in the flow.
I just recently got into stand up. Joe Koy put me on stage for the first time, and he kind of mentored me, and I learned a lot. I've learned that finding your voice is the hardest tackle on being on stage. Is because my biggest fear is ripping somebody's material because it happens so often on accident. When did you find your voice where you're like, oh, that's it? How many years into your stand-up where you're like, oh, this is who Sebastian is?
I kind of knew my voice right from the get-go, but it took me a while to hone it. I used to come on stage extremely angry. My first line was, the week I had today, and it was like anger.
Yeah. But
But it wasn't fun. It wasn't like I wasn't smiling. I wasn't letting the crowd in on the joke. It was very, just talking to them in
Venting.
yeah, venting. Like you bitching. But I always knew I had a kind of a unique take on observational humor and people and the way they behave, the way they move, and I was never the class clown. I was always silent. I was always observing, and then I would come home and tell my family, the kid at school today, you know what he did? I would make fun of the class clown because I didn't think he was funny.
We usually aren't.
Yeah.
I was voted class clown.
Exhibit A.
It's fucked up. I was voted
George,
class
you
clown.
could have kept that one to yourself. You literally fucked yourself.
Well, no, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm sitting next to Sebastian now. And by the way, they removed me from the yearbook because they thought it'd be funny. So how you flip and you're like, oh, where are you? I wasn't fucking there, bro. I kept flipping.
Tell him the quote that the one girl wrote in.
Oh, that was just one of the quotes. This is literally what it said. Hey, George. Yeah. So I got nothing really nice to say to you, but I'll just start by saying you're not as bad as I thought you would be, and you don't really look like a gorilla. Anyway, see you later. That was, I'm like, why did I let this girl sign
Don't
this?
write anything.
But you know what? When I was young and I had people signing it, they didn't know what they were signing it from far away. It looked like so many people were writing so many nice things. I wasn't even in the fucking yearbook, bro. They thought it'd be funny to remove me.
That is funny. Hags, brother. Have a great summer. What were you saying, Sebastian?
So is he? Is like I just met you.
Yeah.
So
No, we met before.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I gave you a fucking shirt. I gave you a fucking shirt, bro. You said you liked the shirt.
I know. I totally forgot that we were on a shirt together. But like, as far as getting to know you a little bit for the last 25 minutes, now is the group here supportive of you doing stand-up? Do they see like, oh, this guy's got a future?
If it wasn't for this show, my friends and this whole crew, I would not be doing stand-up.
Sebastian, I texted George every day for about 4 months straight. Every day, often unresponded, sometimes 4 or 5, 6, 7 days in a row. Have you done stand-up comedy today? Have you done stand-up comedy today? Have you done stand-up? Like, I became the annoying guy, but I knew that he has this thing and he needs to get on stage, Yeah. And he's naturally funny. Like, I've always been curious about that, to pivot it back to you because it's not George's podcast. But
it's an us podcast.
Yeah,
He's also usually not this nervous, Sebastian.
Get your hand off my shoulder.
Dude, you are a little sweaty.
Wait, can I touch on that really quick?
Yeah.
I am a comedy. I digest it. I like to watch comedy, right? And observe it, watch specials and stand up my whole life. I would love to get on stage, but I sweat a lot. And I get really nervous. I have super high energy, so I'd love to do it, but I get really sweaty. But one thing I've noticed that's interesting is comedians sweating on stage is very acceptable.
Yeah.
It was made acceptable by the early greats. Your sweating is like a fucking 2 out of 10. You're like a tiny little, like what do you call it in Jewish language?
A schwitzer.
A schwitzer.
Yeah, you
schwitzen.
You glisten.
But like, dude, like Carlin, bro, and like those guys, man, they fucking pour.
Yeah.
What is it that makes you sweat so much? Is it it's the lights?
Lights. But when I go and do these shows, I tell them make the room extremely cold.
Yeah.
I like to wear jackets and whatnot, and it could get a little warm. I do sweat a lot. Like now I've cooled down. It's like when I was rushing to get over here, I was in the shower or whatnot. So I perspired a little bit. Plus, George was sitting next to me. You get a little nervous. But yeah, I don't sweat like that. I remember Richard Pryor did a special just in red, and he was drenched.
But his situation was different. He was on crack. You know what I'm saying? So like that.
So are you. So
yeah, facts. That's a good point. It's a good point.
Well, speaking of energy, and I'm like low key. I'm not matching the energy of the show whatsoever because you guys are like at a very high level. The whole
you
room.
would have saw me at a regular. You probably wouldn't talk to me again. That's probably why you don't remember the first time we ever talked.
George is relatively tame right now.
I'm very tame, Johnny.
You guys seem constantly amped, right? There's like there's an energy that you guys.
You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
Like in life,
yeah,
we're yeah.
Like, do you wake up that way, or does it take a while to
mine's
get
like
there?
a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Like mine like I can't turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like anxiety, ADHD. Like, but that's like the thing that I try to bring to this show is like that super upbeat, positive energy because I feel like if people are more naturally down, it will lift. It's almost like a rising tide lifts all boats. So if you bring that positive, like super amped energy to any situation, you can get other people to be equally like positive, happy, and like energetic.
Well, no, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, what coffee are these guys?
Yeah.
Just Prime.
We drink Prime.
or is it this drink? Is this?
We drink Prime, brother. We drink a lot of Prime.
It's just in me, dude. Same with you, probably. You know.
I'm excited. I got a zest for life.
You do.
You know, and I am a amped human. But I don't. I mean, who gives a shit? You know, you're so you, and that's why your thing worked. You stuck to what you do, and you said your whole goal has just been to make people laugh. But you have done a little pivot recently into traditional Hollywood, you know, and we've seen you in some films. Personally, I hate the Hollywood machine. Have you found fulfillment in traditional cinema?
I haven't done a lot, but what I have done is a lot different than stand-up. I mean, stand-up, you're in control of everything.
Yeah.
It's just you up there. And then when you're in the movie, there's just a lot of voices. There's a lot of people around. So it's a change that you got to get used to. Will I ever stop doing stand-up comedy? Absolutely not. Will I put myself in these films and TV opportunities? Absolutely. I haven't had a problem with Hollywood.
Interesting.
I haven't had a problem.
The hurry up and wait doesn't. I mean, I see a lot of shit bothering. If I'm bothered in Hollywood,
it's boring.
Yeah.
Waiting to go up on stage or do what you're there to do, but once you see it on screen, it's like that all goes away. Like I just did a movie. I co-wrote a movie loosely based on my life. It was 7 weeks in Alabama, right? And it was tough for me because it was I was away from my family. A lot of waiting, we're going to redo it again. Like I had to cry in this movie. Now I don't cry. I cry. I'm very sensitive, but I never cried on film before. And
I'm very sensitive. That was just so funny. I'm so sorry. Because I would just love to see you cry. I know it sounds weird.
I've noticed this about George too. He has very unpredictable reactions to things that are not reaction evoking whatsoever.
I'm so sorry, but like all I pictured was you like crying about something. I was like, I gotta see that.
I noticed it with Deerdick. Deerdick would be like mid-sentence and he'd be like, and then I went down the street and I saw this guy mowing his lawn and George goes, wow. Like that, like no reaction was required to that specific portion of the sentence. He goes, "Wow!" Like wow.
We love you, George. You're great.
No, I love it too. It's awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. So yeah, I cry on occasion.
What makes you cry?
Movies make me cry.
Yeah, John Cena.
John Cena?
He makes me cry. He got the most Make-A-Wishes, dude. He got like 650 Make-A-Wishes.
Oh, I didn't know. I've never seen.
What's your problem, dude?
No, that was a nice thing. What's your problem, dude?
Well, what movies you talking? Like Saving Private Ryan? I mean, like, what?
Does that make you cry?
Like, there's got to be
What was the
something.
last time you cried, bro? Just spill it.
Can't even see John
It's a
Cena.
safe zone.
I don't know the last movie I cried.
Done with that joke forever. Sorry. God, sorry.
I don't know. I just cry on occasion. I mean, I'm a sensitive guy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to not believe you. You can't even think of one example.
Well, I mean, you know, my kids make me cry every now and then. You
Yeah,
know, just
yeah.
watching them, it's like a happy cry. But yeah, I'll cry at a movie. My wife don't cry for shit. I mean, we're watching a movie. I'm bawling. I look over. I go, nothing. You know. So I had to cry in this movie.
Yikes.
So I do 2 takes, and as I'm doing the takes, I'm like, I should be crying now, and I'm not. Now, Robert De Niro is playing my father in this movie, right? I go, I need to talk to you. So we go off, and he's talking to me, and I go, I need help, man. I need help getting there. And he goes, well, I was going to give you some advice, but, you know, I didn't know how you work. I go, tell me, you know, what do you do? And he starts telling me, you know, I think of things in my own life, and he starts crying, telling me the story.
Oh, wow.
Right? Now I start crying that he's crying. And I go, I got to use this. So we run into the scene, and I start the scene crying. I'm not supposed to be crying, but I'm crying. But I'm like, all right, I'm
Have
crying.
to drive through. Like, order. I'll take
Yeah.
6 piece.
You know? But it wasn't that unbelievable that I put it this way. If I was crying throughout the scene, you wouldn't watch it and go, why is he crying? It was an emotional
Okay.
scene. I cried the whole thing. Cut. All right, we're gonna do it again. Do it again. That's all I got. So I had to cry like for 7 or 8 takes.
Oh my God.
Each time I did it, the crying was less.
Did
But
you have Robert De Niro crying in the background for all 8 takes?
this guy was crying on every time. It was this. I was almost like a fan in the scene.
Yeah.
Watching this, going, this guy's crying again at the same exact time. It was like a lesson in acting.
It's
working
like a
with this guy.
connection that they have with something that
Yeah.
With
You know.
something, no, every fiber of their emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can summon it. It's absurd. The best actors in the world. It's a talent I will never understand. I don't get it.
I did it for Pete.
It's pretty hard.
Shut up.
I can I swear to God, I can really do it.
You talk about a mockumentary that we made.
No.
for Flat Earth.
Sorry.
I
but
did
I'm bringing it up. I can, but another person that I look at as like the ultimate crier. Like, you think De Niro can cry? This dude makes De Niro look like a clown compared to this guy, dude. Jordan Peterson. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
This dude is on the verge of tears constantly. 24. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
Wait. You talking about the speaker?
Yeah.
The orator, the college professor,
Yes,
Jordan
sir.
Peterson?
Constantly.
I disagree.
No, I'm not.
And he's also not an actor.
Hold on. I'm not. I know that, but I'm not. I'm talking about people who can cry for any reason. I'm not asking you for your opinion. I'm giving a factual note. This man is always crying.
Yeah, because he's so intelligent and he understands the
Empathy
lack
of-
the lack that humanity currently
correct.
is.
And he just is crying. Every video I've ever seen of him, he's pouring.
cusp of tears. Just
Yeah.
You know, it might be scary. Dating somebody who's really good at fake crying. I'm running lines with my girlfriend. Running lines, not auditioning, not on camera. Running lines, bro. It fucked me up so believe. I'm like, have you been lying to me? Like, when you cry like this. So now when we're in arguments, I dead ass to be like, are you fucking with me? Are you actually crying? She's like, no, I'm fucking crying, you asshole.
Dating actors and actresses is very scary. Very scary.
Yeah, because they could turn it on at any point.
Anytime. Anytime I see people crying in movies now that have like seen the Hollywood machine, I know you're doing that shit 8 times. How? It's funny. Robert De Niro is such a good actor. He made you a good actor just by being in the same room.
That's what I'm saying. Rubbed off.
Rubs off.
It's rubbing off, bro. So
Why didn't you use a tear stick? They have those.
yeah, but this is something where I had to get there
Yeah.
emotionally to
Prove it to yourself.
You didn't have to read for the movie. It's your movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have to read, but so you wrote the crying scene.
We co-wrote the crying scene. My writing partner. He wrote a lot of it, so it's not like it really. But it was my essence. It was me professing my love to my father, and you know, he told me, think about your dad. Think about the struggles that he had to go through coming from Sicily when he was 15 years old, starting a business here, starting a family, and then I started to think about all these things, and I had to be out of breath in the scene, so I was running around.
Nice.
the airport getting worked up, and then I had to enter the scene. It's stuff I never did before. It was a learning experience.
So how's your acting?
It's okay. I mean, it's not as good as my stand-up.
See, this is where my curiosity continues, because like we know you're like the best at stand-up, and you took a bold leap late in your career to go act. Acting is hard.
It's hard. It's difficult.
So is wrestling in the WWE, man.
But that comes natural to me, and but acting does not. And I don't think if you don't have the
Boxing. Oh, I wasn't
Wrestling.
making. No, I know, but also you box. So like, you do a lot of shit. That's
wrestling.
not. I feel like it's natural.
I think acting is one of those things.
Yeah, either have it.
Yeah.
I agree. That's why when
but
people are like,
social
I'm going to acting class, I'm like, bro, it's either you're crazy or you're not. Like,
Well,
what's the metric for success though for acting though? Because like social media has changed the landscape so much that now like the most garbage people are in huge movies. So do you mean like to be like a culturally acclaimed actor or critically acclaimed actor or like a box office success?
you just got to be believable.
Yeah.
Do people watch you and believe you?
yeah. Also, there's two different types of actors, like movie stars, where they play themselves in every single movie.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Ryan Reynolds, he plays that same character.
Yeah.
And he brings it to life every single time. Have you ever thought about doing that with your stage character of you?
What?
Like
Just
bringing
playing
that
yourself in a
character
movie.
into like a movie or
I tried to do that with a sitcom, and we didn't get picked up. But I kind of tried that already, and I want to go somewhere else with maybe TV.
maybe we do something together sometime.
George.
Okay. I just shot my shot.
Just-
Well,
you're
you guys
not-
told me to jump in. I
uh-uh.
jumped
You're
in.
not there yet.
Now
You're
with
not
no
there.
pitch, just maybe we do something together sometime. You don't want to give them something to work with?
Watch. Hey, ready? Check this out. Wow. What's wrong with that? See? Look at that. We could be like brothers. Why, you don't like my impression?
I'm not looking for a double.
Why not?
Just, if we could get the real George, maybe we could.
Yeah, because that's what they want to see is this. Have you guys heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? How did I just roast myself in front of you?
Are you religious?
No. I grew up Catholic, but I don't go to church.
Yeah, me neither, bro. Just changes up as soon as it's like, dude, who goes to church, bro?
Quits Christianity because Sebastian did. That doesn't surprise me.
What was it about Catholicism that pushed you out of the? I mean,
It's
it
not-
seems like such an easy religion, dude. You
I
know?
went to church every Sunday with my mother. I didn't really get anything out of going to church and praying. And like, I pray on my own time, but like as far as the organized religion, I don't.
It's kind of like
participate.
me too.
No.
Are you paying attention at all to the rising scene of comedians?
I don't know a lot of them, but now that I'm doing a lot of comedy in LA and I'm going to be home a lot, I'm starting to see some of the new rising stars. I don't know them by name, but I'm starting to hang around the clubs more and starting to see people coming up. Because when you're on tour, you're not really going to the clubs, but now I'm going to the clubs and I'm starting to see people.
You're obviously an excellent comedian. I'm wondering if you're learning from people that you watch, from people that are coming up on the internet or in real life.
Not really. I'm learning from me going up on stage, not necessarily watching. I'm learning to take a lot more risks every time I go on stage. So for me, it's always a learning process. Every time you get up on stage, especially at the Comedy Store, the Improv Laugh Factory, wherever you're going around town, just kind of working on new stuff, not being afraid to. I always start with new material. A lot of people throw it in the middle or maybe at the end. I always like come up with the new stuff right in the beginning because I'm excited about it. I want to see if it works.
What's your hit rate now that you're seasoned and have been doing this for decades?
My hit rate?
For a joke, like
That's kind of like one of our terminology.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah. Like how often do you tell a joke and people are just like,
At the Comedy Store, that happens a lot more frequently than when I'm on tour. When I'm on tour, I'm bringing the stuff that I kind of know works.
Yeah.
So when I go to the Comedy Store and I'm playing around, I'll go,
Test
that kind of died.
Is there a pre-test protocol? Like, do you take it and like run it by the 5-year-old
My
real
mom.
quick? Like,
My mom.
like, oh yeah,
My mother.
oh that's awesome.
Really?
So when I talk to my mom, I'll spit stuff at her. But it's not like I'm trying new bits. I'm just talking about my life. And she's dying laughing, and I'll go, okay, that's something I got to.
And has she ever been like so just like Yo, that really was not fucking funny at all. Like I actually don't even really like you or respect you.
I don't respect you
anymore.
Well, my family is they have no qualms telling me that sucked or that's no good. Especially my father. My father's, he used to be a lot more critical of my act than he is now. He kind of shuts his mouth, but like.
Well, after that last Rico trial, I'm sure it did. Come on, bro, give me something. After what happened with Bumpy Johnson, there was nothing, bro. I'm telling you, you're gonna fucking break. I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna break you, brother. You're gonna give me the fuck.
Mike is convinced Sebastian is tied into the Italian mob.
It's so bad. I'm done with it. I'm done.
Who Johnson?
Bumpy Johnson. Leave him out of it. I'm done with Jimmy Hoffa. I'm done with Bumpy. I'm sorry.
No.
Was your act in the beginning dirty?
Ah, yeah.
No, never dirty. Actually, I swear more now than I used to back then, but I never really covered any blue material.
What is blue material?
Like dirty. Like
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Blue.
What does that mean exactly?
Working blue. It just means
You're raunchy.
Yeah, raunchy,
Edgy.
sex related, or a lot of swearing, a lot of, just derogatory
Carlin.
stuff.
See, that's why I thought
Pryor.
Yeah, more. Yeah,
Who's like the bluest of all of them?
Oh.
God. I don't know.
Gotta be some dirty motherfucker. That's
No, there is.
I mean, that Dice Clay was.
Oh yeah, he's the number one. He's got to be number one.
Andrew Schultz
Schultz
gets
is
pretty
dirty. Schultz is dirty.
He gets dirty, but he's so
No, not
educated
like
with
that.
it that it
Not like
teaches you a
Andrew
lesson
Dice,
while
bro.
you laugh. I
You all right?
You okay?
Did you just short out? Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I opened for
you
Dice.
opened for Dice for what, 2 years, right?
For 2 years, yeah. This is while I was working at the Four Seasons Hotel. He's like, "What are you doing Saturday?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm working." He's like, "Need an opening act at the Stardust." I'm like, "All right." So I'm like, I told work, I said, Dice needs me, and I'm gonna go work with him for a couple weekends. But yeah, he taught me a lot. Touring with him, I was doing like casinos and theaters with Dice, and I went basically from comedy clubs, performing in front of 12 people a night, to 3,000 people at a casino, and you come in front of his crowd. This is one thing I learned about working with Dice. I was rattled on stage because his crowd didn't like me at all at one of these shows. And a lot of yelling and heckling and a lot of that. And I bailed early. Supposed to do 15 minutes. I got off at like 12 because I was nervous and I got a little rattled. And I came backstage and he's like, "Bro, you got to do your time. No matter how bad it's going, you got to fulfill the time, because I'm back here and now I'm not ready to go up on stage because you bailed early." That really stuck with me, After that, I never let it get to me as bad as just kind of walking off. So
Wow.
a lot of learn lessons working those
With Dice. Was he really like about that life off stage? Like what was it like being with that dude, bro?
But Dice is funny. We went to Las Vegas, and I thought, "Oh my God, I'm going out with Dice Clay to Vegas. We're gonna go out, and nightclubs, and this, that, and the other thing." And we got to Vegas, and we went furniture shopping. And he's like, "Sit on this couch," and I'd sit on the couch. He goes, "What do you think?" I go, $6,000 couch. It's better than what I got at home, so it's beautiful. He's like, "Yeah, no, let's go sit on that chair." So he had a house that he was furnishing there. So basically, we went shopping for the entire weekend. And then when I wanted to go out, he goes, "I don't go out."
Oh.
So there was I had this picture like Dice was going to the clubs.
For sure.
Dice was at that point of his life was more concerned
It's
about
like finding out Magic Johnson was a virgin, bro. Like that's fucking insane. Dude.
I had a cheat code then. Joe made it so unbelievably easy for me. Not only would he go over every single thing with me one by one, but like before I went on stage, he looked at me and he goes, "Hey man, I gave you 15 minutes. If you get scared," he goes, "just walk off." He goes, "Because I promise you, when I get on stage, they will forget completely everything you do." He goes, I will erase you completely." He goes, "So whatever you do,"
He's like, "Yo, if you go up there and you are awful, I mean, you walk out and everybody is just like, this dude is the worst. When I get on there, they'll all be laughing. So you should feel good about it."
I got off stage. I did my full 15 minutes for the first time. Never had a joke written. He just threw me on stage. Did well, like really, really well. I was just fucking blabbing, and it was easy because it was in Arizona. So I was using like things that they knew about. It was like a really like great first set ever. I walk out thinking he's gonna be so fucking amped and proud, and he was. I opened the curtain. He looks at me. He goes, "Dude, that was fucking amazing." Gives me a hug. He goes, "Now watch this." And he just fucking moonwalks on stage, and they go, ah. He goes, "They forgot you," and then he just walks out, and I was like, "What a fucking G, bro!" So it was.
Sounds like a humble guy.
No, he's one of the best. He went home with me to my mom's house at 3 o'clock in the fucking
And
morning.
then he slashed your mom.
Dude,
He's a humble guy.
but 3 o'clock in the morning, just to sit there and talk to me about my stand-up. First time we've ever met. He
Wow.
invited me to his house in Vegas. We sat all night and he was teaching me all these things. And then we went to Arizona together. I opened up for him. And afterwards, he was so impressed and also excited about how excited I was. We went to my house and I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, Joe Koy's coming over. I want everything clean and cooked." And she came and brought, it was like a huge meal on the table. So he brought his friends. I had some friends come over. But I'm sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, "Dude, when is Sebastian showing up?" So I'm just wondering, like, you want to come for dinner sometime? You want to hang out? We could shoot.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So you want me to come over for dinner? Is that what you're asking?
Think about it.
Yeah, I would love, I love Middle Eastern food.
I will make anything.
The Jankos are super hospitable.
Yep.
My brother's fighting in Phoenix, Arizona, which is where he's from, on October 29th. Maybe you want to pop out. We get a little Janko dinner. You don't have to be with him alone. Don't worry. We'll be there.
I will actually give you my whole apartment.
I don't need the
Stay
whole
there.
apartment. I just need some food and some good company
Hummus.
and some
Patisserie
hummus,
chicken.
some hummus.
That's all you need. I got you.
Speaking of food,
My mother makes the best hummus, by the way. So
Does she?
I'll give you my mother, by the way, at this chance. Like,
I think that should be about enough. Speaking of food, well done.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
You got a food show, which I'm extremely jealous of as a cheeseburger reviewer. I have the most viewed weekly cheeseburger review on YouTube. Every single week, I go and I review another fast casual cheeseburger joint.
All right.
You got a favorite cheeseburger?
I like, God, what are these guys?
Must not like it that
Heavy-handed? Heavy-handed?
Oh my God. Great. 9.1. Wow.
Really?
That's a great
Oh,
call.
you know your burger.
Yeah, that's a food truck here in Los Angeles. They serve a short rib burger, short rib meat. They cook their fries in the beef grease still. McDonald's used to. They still do it. It's a great burger. I'm actually very blown away by that. As a food guy, I'm happy that you said that, bro.
So let me ask you this. It seems to be a trend now, the reviewing of food.
Yep.
How did you get into reviewing cheese?
Lana broke
I've
up.
been,
What?
Lana and him broke up. So
Yeah, me and my ex broke up, so I started reviewing food. No, listen, I started with food. So when Instagram started, 2012, I never posted a picture of me. It was just what I was eating.
Oh, really?
I've been obsessed with food my entire life.
Wow.
Pizza, cheesesteaks, cheese fries, cheeseburgers, mozzarella, whatever I could find that looked aesthetically pleasing from a food standpoint, I would take pictures of and post on my Instagram. They're still there. The pictures are still there. And
you're in photography, right? You do.
I did photography at first. Now I do the podcast, my own YouTube channel, all this stuff. But I think like people talking about food is such a passion. I mean, especially in the Italian community,
Yeah.
right? Food is such a passion, and it evokes such a passionate response from people based on their individual interests. And I've always been extremely passionate about food, for as long as I can remember, and cheeseburgers especially. And so when I started to have an audience of my own and a channel of my own, I thought I could infuse it into the content. It's done really well. Obviously, Dave Portnoy, a friend of ours, is the biggest pizza reviewer, and I'm sure seeing his ability to do that in a digital, from a digital perspective, also pushed me to do it. But I just love food.
Yeah.
I love food so much.
Jeff just
I didn't even know that
texted
story.
me, "Wake up," and I did realize I was just falling asleep listening to you talk about food.
That's fine. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Sebastian.
I know, but
so you
it's
could
so
sit
boring.
there. You could sit there and scroll
I
Tinder.
am-
He just started
I
a
am-
show about food. So when you say food's boring, you're insulting.
I'm
our
just-
guest.
no, not food
So
is
why don't
boring.
you shut your
You're
mouth and
boring.
let me finish this
I
fucking
find
point
you
I'm
incredibly
making.
boring.
Go back to scrolling
I'm
Instagram,
bored of
or go
you.
talk about NFTs. You talked about NFTs for 3 hours.
I'm the
every show.
photographer, by the
No one
way.
gives a
I
fuck
take the
about
pictures around
NFTs.
here.
You talk about it all fucking day. So shut up. I'm gonna finish my food point. Anyways, well done. Great show.
Thank you.
Why did you get into the food space?
So I, like you, love food. I am the chef at our house. I'm not cooking extravagant meals, but over COVID, I felt like I was running a hotel. I mean, I was cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then a buddy of mine, Dom, who's in the food game, was kind of, well, not kind of, his business was kind of decimated by COVID, and he distributes, cheeses and meats to all these restaurants. He needed help. So I said, let's do what we call the Sunday supper. You cook, I'll do the comedy, and people will buy tickets. We'll give the money to charity, but we'll get your name out there amongst the people in the community in Los Angeles. And we did the show. I had a ball doing it, and I'm like, man, I think there's a bigger play here. Let me do a food show and pick topics that I'm interested. Always wanted to learn how to make sushi, so we did a sushi episode. Always wanted to learn how to make cocktails, so we did a cocktail episode. Went fishing, got sick on a boat. So we did dog food. Like, we interviewed people who, go to these gourmet dog food places and what have you. So we did 13 episodes on Discovery Plus, and I had a ball doing it. And now we want to do a little bit more of a lifestyle show where we cover food, we cover hospitality. I'm huge in hospitality. I love hospitality.
What do you mean by that? Like hotels, nightclubs, like
hotels? Like I said, work at the Four Seasons. Even if you came over to my house for a party,
yep.
The way I treat the people that come to my home, I want to make it an experience.
Yeah, you're a curator.
Yeah,
sure.
And I'm always fascinated what hotels do in the room or how they treat people. Service, very service oriented. So I want to do stuff in that space, wellness and longevity. I want to get into that. Now being 49 years old, looking at a guy like Tom Cruise, right?
He looks like he's 12 still.
This guy, I went to go watch the Top Gun movie on Amazon, and it was Top Gun and then Top Gun Maverick. But looking at the photo, I couldn't figure out
which one's the late.
What's this guy doing? So just talking to people that are trying to prolong their life and what I always find these things interesting, and I want to do it under the umbrella of Well Done.
So that's so wellness as well. What's your go-to hotel?
God,
Vegas.
Vegas, I like the Wynn.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say. See, I'm testing you, and all your answers check out.
Yeah, Wynn
Encore is Wynn Encore is the best hotel.
I think it's the best hotel in Las Vegas. But one and only in Cabo at the Palmilla, the service
hotel.
is that.
Have you been to Esperanza down there?
I have not. No.
Esperanza and Las Ventanas.
Yes, I've been to Las Ventanas.
Yeah.
Las Ventanas and
Cabo.
Is Cabo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cabo San Lucas is unreal.
Amazing. Esperanza is my favorite hotel on the planet. So
yeah?
Obama, Oprah, all those guys stay there. Best service I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I have to go check that one out.
I'm into that stuff too. I know Logan's not, so let's move topics. I apologize, Logan.
Logan checked out for 12 minutes.
He hates hospitality and food. He likes to eat food, but I get it. Not everything's for every person. I have to barrel through some of the boxing conversations. Like different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? I respect that.
Speaking of your brother, you brought up your brother. He lived 3 blocks away from me on Melrose, off of Melrose.
You live near the Team 10 house?
Is that what that was?
Oh, yikes.
Whoa, did you ever have any problems with that?
Problems. So my wife and I would go for a walk, and then we didn't know what was going on. We're like, who the fuck lives here? I mean, the house, I think there was like spray paint on the garage.
Yeah.
There was just a security guard out front, and then there would be people complaining, the neighbors, and it was like a whole thing.
On
Yeah,
Kilkia,
because he'd be riding wheelies on Kilkia,
Yeah, Kilkia.
down the street on his residential street on his dirt bike, going over the speed limit. One time, I'm sure you inhaled the fumes from the mattress that he lit on fire in the backyard, in his backyard.
You were there.
Not that. Oh yeah, it was.
You literally are the one that was with him when he lit it on fire.
You had the matches.
You guys are lame.
What is that?
You guys are lame.
That was a joke.
Have some fun. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What was that? What
was that?
Tempur-Pedic?
So that's the question
Pedic
I've been
master?
asking myself about that whole 3-year period of my life. Like, what was that?
Were you living there too?
Basically, the answer is no. But I was there every day, bothering you and your neighbors with my brother. Dude,
Did you ever go over there and like complain?
No, I don't complain. I'm not.
What?
I'm not that guy. No.
Hey man, have
I
you
would- I-
seen your specials?
What are you talking about?
No, he means like rat. You don't rat. He
I don't rat.
Learn to keep his
What-
mouth
yeah,
shut.
Whatever.
From his dad.
I didn't know who lived there.
And
Who,
Bumpy Johnson.
yeah, Bumpy Johnson could have lived there. The hell do I know?
He would have kept his mouth shut.
He goes, I don't rat. I go, something the mob would say.
That's funny though. Damn. Yeah. The neighbors were not happy with him, and then the big one that got him at the time was a news van came to cover the story about what the hell is going on at this house. Why are there 50 kids outside every day?
Yeah.
And he, climbed on top of the news van, made fun of the news reporter's shoes, hit him with the what are those, and just a personal apology from the Paul family for their
No.
proximity.
It was kind of away from me. Like I said, 3 or 4 blocks away. So it's not like we were getting a lot of that.
The runoff smoke.
My buddy's kids came to visit, and they were like, they wanted to go see. They knew where the house was.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go see it. It was like, forget Disneyland. We want to go over to the house to see what's going on. So we took them over there.
You know what's so crazy, man?
We took him over there.
Yeah, we took them over
Why
there.
did you
Like,
skim past that? Could you imagine Sebastian just driving? He goes, yeah, that is.
see
the guy right there?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
where it
You
all
know those
happened.
houses
It's
that
out.
set up a lot of Christmas lights, like around Christmas, and you drive real slow
Yeah, just to
past,
see it, yes.
and the kids point. That was like that house.
That's exactly what it was.
What was I going to say? Could have been anything.
Could have been about burgers, hospitality.
No, it was about Jake.
People going to his house?
Me going to his house. Could have been anything. I don't know. But I did want to ask something about being on a stage as big as Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I would consider myself an entertainer, performer, and being under those lights is riveting. It's also very taxing and can be difficult and overwhelming. Do you have a pregame ritual before you go and do these massive shows? And second part of that question, when you perform at a venue that is that big, do you give it your best material so it is 100% chance you are going to land that night in front of all those people?
That particular weekend, I wish I would have enjoyed the moment more than I did. I was too in my head. I was too. I wasn't in the pocket. I wasn't in the moment. I was like, oh my God, Madison Square Garden. There's Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan. I remember, watching Michael Jordan play the Knicks there, and all this stuff was going through my head. And I felt like I should have. In my career in general, I wish I would stop and smell the roses a little bit more than I have, because in those moments, I'm always thinking about the next moment, and I'm never in the present. And I wish I would have been in the present more at those Madison Square Gardens. To answer your question in regards to the material, I'm given the same material I do in Chicago. I do it in New York. It's not like, I'm bringing my special stuff to Madison Square Garden. I always want to do my best, give 150%. And that particular weekend, I just wish I would have taken it in more, because it was boom, it was over. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have just relished in this moment. Plus, I was like, it's a big weekend. I'm nervous. We're doing 2 shows a night. I mean, we had a show at 7 and 10. So the 19,000 people walked out, and 19,000 people walked in.
I can't even imagine the logistics of that. Just a separate group of 19,000 people just shifting seats. That's absurd.
It's crazy.
But do you have a pregame ritual? I don't see you getting nervous. I see you just walking on.
No, there's no pregame. There's nothing I really doing backstage. I'm not jumping jacks. I'm not listening to music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go on stage, and no, it's I'm in my room alone, just kind of figuring out what I'm gonna start with. And that's it. There's nothing really that I'm doing that's out of the ordinary.
Are your kids aware of what you're doing yet? Do they know what's going on with their papa?
My 5-year-old does a little bit, but not really. I mean, they came to see a show. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, oh, Daddy's on stage. But they know I make people laugh.
Yeah.
That I just don't know if they know what
the hell is going on?
What the hell's going on? They're too young.
My question is, the first time you did a stadium, did they tell you that the laughter is going to hit you minutes later or seconds later, or no?
Minutes.
Well, it feels like it. I
Like
didn't
10
know
minutes
about
goes
this.
No, I'd say a joke and go, okay, hold on.
Wait a second.
It's coming.
There's a lag.
No, I mean, the laughter. I mean, people are laughing in the front row.
It's still pretty real time, George.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not that delayed.
I thought it was. I mean, I never performed, but I heard because I performed at a theater once, and nobody told me that it's different than a club, like a Laugh Factory or anything. So I was so used to the laughter being right there, but I'll tell a joke, and then I wouldn't hear any laughter, and I'm like, oh fuck, that didn't land. And then I'll start to do my other one, and then I'd hear laughter, and I was like, what the fuck is
what? There's that amount of something about this seems right.
Sounds like you were performing in a black hole.
Maybe you were performing in a different time zone than the other. Like half the audience was.
But
in
you've
the
never
Pacific
dealt
Standard.
with like the sound bouncing in like.
Well, I mean, I never looked at it as such a delay where I'm into another joke and I'm getting a wave of laughter going, where's this coming from? Is this from the last joke?
After the fact.
No, there's,
now Sebastian's gonna go on stage the next time and it's gonna fuck with him, dude.
Bro,
Wait, why was that?
So that way when he sits there frozen, I'm like, see, I fucking said they did that. I was like,
No shot. This guy's bulletproof.
It could be maybe you were performing closer to the equator than him or something like.
well, do you talk fast on stage?
I
Yes, he
was
does.
because I was
Yes, you do.
nervous. I was.
Okay,
yeah.
so when you're talking fast and there's no like silence and pause, then you might get that effect because you're already into
Fuck
your
you
next
guys,
joke.
told you.
But like I like to
Fuck you
kind
for
of
talking fast.
I was nervous.
You're always nervous.
yeah. So that's what you might be feeling is that I'm a little bit more slower in my delivery and I like to like give a little pause so I don't get the effect that you got in Arizona with Joe Koy.
It was in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, sorry.
Feels like the maximizers in performance craft are the ones who can master the silence.
Well, silence is golden,
Yeah.
especially in comedy. Just to relish in those moments of just complete silence and have they almost the jokes or the laughter just trickle in. It's a nice feeling.
Also,
I'll let you know when it happens.
No. Okay. Let me know when you're not nervous.
but with you, you're super expressive as well, which really helps that silence. You know, you sit in that expression, and I'm wondering, tactical question, but are there big screens that like the people in the rafters can see like the close-ups when you're performing?
Yeah, that was a big thing doing these bigger rooms because, like you said, a lot of it's in the face. And
Sure, especially with you.
Yeah, and you're doing these big things. You got to have, a big screen. So I travel with the screens and whatnot. And I do it in the round because, especially in the arenas, I do it in the round because I feel like it's more intimate than just doing it at a north or south end of the arena. So, and then you have the screens above you so people could see. I think screens are important, even in a 2,025 seat, 2,500 seat arena or a theater. I bring in the screens. Just
Sharp.
I saw one of those screens fall on someone in South Korea.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it just one side went, and then it went like this, and then the other side let go, and the corner of it just squashed a backup dancer. Like they lived. They
lived, yeah.
badly.
Were they living but squashed?
Yeah, they're like
The two-dimensional backup dancer.
they're just flat now.
Yeah.
But do you ever think about that as you're performing? You got a new joke coming up, and you think to yourself, "God, at any second, this jumbotron's gonna squash me, bro, into a pierogi or into like a fucking little ravioli."
No,
in your case.
no. I never thought I was going to get hit by a screen and be buried like Jimmy Hoffa.
Where the fuck is he? He's in one of the holes in the desert, isn't he? I know he is. He's in New Jersey or something.
What's your relationship like with bombing or hecklers, and even zooming out a little bit more macro, failing in general?
Failing in general. I didn't have a good set. I did the VMAs. I didn't have a good set on the VMAs. I did the MTV Video Music Awards because of this nostalgia of it. I'm like, I grew up on this. They asked me to do it, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm older. This is a young crowd. They're looking for, Doja Cat. They ain't looking. They look.
Yeah, they are. They are.
So that was one of the hardest gigs I think I've ever had to do, just because the environment, people are standing, right? Normally for comedy, they're not
chilling.
Yeah. And they're standing and they're young, and it was a tough.
Bro, I could see you thought Andrew Dice Clay's audience was bad. I could see you in front of the VMAs and you're like, "That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Another cis white male's on stage telling us," like, bro, you can't tell jokes at all. Do you ever worry or think like twice about telling any jokes nowadays with this current culture that we live in?
Listen, you're not gonna please everybody. Somebody's always gonna be bent out of shape. for what you say or what you do. I get it. But as soon as you start editing yourself and saying, oh, I shouldn't say that, I just think you become unfunny. So I've always been kind of true to what I do. And if you have a problem, you have a problem with it. If you don't, you don't. So no, I don't really edit myself. I just put it out there, and if you like it, you like it. And
Bro,
if you don't watch it.
The fucking beauty of being unbothered. Oh, it is
Unbothered.
it is so peaceful. That's the word. I live by that word.
Unbothered.
Unbothered.
Well, people lately been thinking you're an agent of the Matrix, and that Susan Wojcicki tells you what to say.
And by the way, do you know how I fucking feel about that?
You probably don't care, give a shit at all. I don't know.
Unbothered.
Yeah, I would assume
I don't
so.
give
What?
a fuck. I'm so peaceful, and it's nice, but it took me a second to get there. And personally, I like failing. I like falling short. I think there's a lot of learning there. Like after you walked away from the VMA show, are there takeaways? Maybe the takeaway was don't perform in front of a demo that's not mine, right? Like that's
Well, that's a challenge to me.
for sure.
So I enjoyed the challenge, and I wish it would have went a little bit better for me. Not that I totally bombed, but it was a different environment. But I'm glad I did it, and you're gonna come into situations in your career where it might not be ideal. But I think if you tackle it head on, there's definitely learning to come out of it.
Would you have been able to get smacked by Will Smith and just hang out and not respond?
Ooh, that is a great question, man.
My nature is not to respond to that. There's guys, I know guys back home, if you
This
get
is what I've been waiting
slapped,
for.
they get, it's like animal, they go after you. I don't have that. And I got I think so much. And what Chris Rock did, it was a class move because he didn't know what the fuck was going on. He gets slapped, and I felt so bad for the guy. But I don't have that reaction.
Well, yeah, because you probably learned young, wait for it, son. We'll take care of them after. Dark alley when they're not looking, that way it's easy to get rid of the fucking body, right?
He's convinced. He's gonna get you. He will get you.
You got to slip up.
No. Growing up, my dad's like, whatever you do, don't get in a fight. Don't mess up your hair. So.
All right, you know what? I finally believe you. If he said that to you, I finally believe you. Your father is actually a hairstylist.
I didn't get in fights. I didn't get fights as a kid because I used to be dressed up at school. My mother used to dress me up.
Sure.
Slacks in third grade, bro. I didn't go to school like a slob. So I remember this guy, his name is Mark Wright. Third grade, he's like, we're fighting after school. I go, I can't. He's like, why not? I go, I got my good slacks on. And he's like, what? I said, I can't mess up my gray slacks. And that was the end of that. Like, you can't even
Wait, that's how they
even come back from that.
You can't fight in slacks.
Do you know that
he understood though? Mark Wright understood.
He understood it, but you couldn't even it's like you can't even fight me after that because it's like this guy don't want to mess up his pants.
Well, because you knew that if you lost that fight, you were going to get your ass beat again when you came home with the slacks with the grass stains.
I would have got it, double.
Yeah.
If I would have came home like that.
Or if your dad was home, you would have got whacked.
Oh my god.
Right,
Oh my god. What?
Sorry, I'm actually done. I'm done.
Yeah, we do have one little final segment here before we let you go.
All right.
And this is actually George's segment, so I'm just gonna go on and hand it over to him because I want to see him interact with you again.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Short stories, we want to take away from this moment to remember forever. So I wanted you to sign something, but what I wanted you to sign was this Sanka.
Oh, wow. You really do listen to the act, don't
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Bring out the other one that I requested.
Oh, you want some Orangina?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
By the way,
we have it.
been looking for a sponsorship with these people for a while. So maybe the people at Orangina, get your head right and get on board here. So yeah. Have you had this before?
In 5th grade, I took French class, and my French teacher was like, Orangina is a big drink in France.
Yeah.
So try it, and I've been in love with it ever since. So when I heard that joke in your set, it took me right back to an amazing time in my life when I was still an adolescent.
This is a delicious.
Fantastic.
I brought a few so you can enjoy it as well.
Oh,
but that one's mine after you sign it.
But yeah, we'd love you to sign these goods so we can sell them on eBay or pawn them. And
Who am I making this one out to? Or is it
George.
just
George.
No, George.
Well, that one could be. for
What do you mean?
that one
You're
could-
taking these home? This was not the
I thought that
bit
wasn't
you
the
pitched.
that wasn't the deal.
You did not pitch us
That wasn't
takeaway
the
home
deal.
goods.
You gotta shut up over there.
No,
Oh, we're serious.
Since 1936. Nice. Wow, what a nice signature. I'll hold it. Don't smudge it.
Forgive me, I actually don't know what Sanka is. And George and I went back and forth yesterday.
It's the same bit, by the way. So
same bit, but
it just continues. So basically, this is from his parents' generation. Then when he's taking care of a lady, brings out the
what does Sanka taste like? Though? I'm
caffeinated ground coffee. This is kind of what we grew up in the 1970s. My family would constantly make Sanka for people that would come over to the house. So this was like the coffee of my generation.
Here's your goodie bag on your way out. You could have all this.
take some Sanka with you on your way out.
There you go.
Thank you,
dude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No.
Did you have fun with us?
You saying that like I didn't. Just the way you. This way.
Really?
I'm a little curious too. I'm actually. I was going to ask you one last thing. Why did you come on this podcast? Like, what are you doing here?
Listen, I don't do a lot of podcasts. I really don't, because to me, when I look at myself on a podcast, like I did Joe Rogan's podcast, I said, Joe, every time I come on here, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I don't know what to say,
It's Joe Rogan, dude.
I know, but he's like, we're talking about meat on the Joe Rogan show. And he's like, and he's rattling off facts, and now we're looking at meat on the screen. I got nothing to offer. Right. I don't know about meat, Joe. So generally speaking, I don't like myself on podcasts just because I don't know. It's just. But when I got this invitation, I go, oh, these guys I watch from afar and I see what they do and I like what they do. So I'm like, yeah. Plus, you live down the street. I come
so it's convenient.
You might as well just.
And, 2 weeks from now, he's gonna reach out and be like, hey, Logan. That son of mine.
Drop it. It's over.
He needs a video.
It's done.
No, not the dad joke where he asked you for the video.
Oh, yeah. I'll send whatever video you need to any of your relatives. Whatever you need, Sebastian. Well, hopefully there's a little bit of a crossover in our audience.
And yeah,
buys your shit.
And your audience is, I don't generally get in front of this demographic,
sure.
This young demographic. So I go, maybe I'll be famous with the young kids.
Starts here, starts now. Do you have an Instagram? I know you don't give it.
I got, you know what I'll plug on here? I have a podcast. We have no guests. Okay.
It's just you?
Just you, me, and Pete Corielli. It's another comedian. And we get on and we talk about our lives every week. And it's called the Pete and Sebastian Show.
Sick. And
I'm really, and I got another podcast coming out with my pediatrician. I know all the listeners of this podcast are going to tune in to the pediatrician.
Yeah, because they still use pediatricians. They're 12.
Why did you say my pediatrician?
Well, it is my pediatrician, my kid's pediatrician. And we do a show about kind of the trials and tribulations of parenting and from a dad's point of view.
Got it.
Very cool.
That's all. Jeff will listen to it.
Jeff, you got kids? 2-year-old. Oh, you got a 2-year-old. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Because all the questions you have, we're going to answer on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Dude, thank you so much.
Thanks
for real.
for
It's been an honor. Sebastian Maniscalco on Impulsive. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed, you know the drill. Hit the button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.